In this video, we're going to demonstrate how to add and edit custom fields in SeniorPlace. Custom fields are incredibly powerful tools which allow you to collect information for clients and communities that may not be baked into the system. Please note that only administrator users will have access to this setting. In our example today, let's consider collecting information on our clients as well as our communities. Perhaps we want to collect information on whether or not our clients play pickleball. Likewise, maybe we want to collect information on whether or not our communities have pickleball courts. This will allow us to better tailor our recommendations to our clients in the future. To start this process, we'll first navigate to the settings icon in the upper right. Next, click Settings. Then go to Agency Settings and Customize. From here, to add a custom field, we're going to click the Add Custom Setting button. The first piece of customization comes in choosing where that question will show up. There are a variety of locations, but for this example, let's choose the preferred amenities and amenities offered location. Next up, we get to choose the question type. As you can see, there are a variety of different options. We could choose a dollar amount field if we wanted to collect a specific financial amount. We could choose the date field if the custom field was for collecting dates. We could choose the text notes field if we wanted a more free-form notes box. In this case, the single checkbox option actually fits quite well, so we'll stick with that one. Next up, we get to choose whether or not the field will show up on the client side, on the community side, or both. In this case, having it show up on both sides actually makes sense. So let's start with the client side. To do so, we'll click Enabled, and then give the question a title. In this case, we'll call it Plays Pickleball. This will allow us to check whether or not a client plays pickleball. We can then choose whether or not that information will ever be shared when sending out referrals to communities. When in doubt, I'd recommend choosing Show Only if set. However, you can also always show or never show that information to communities. Next up, we get to choose whether or not a notes field will show up when the box is checked. In this case, I don't think a notes field makes sense, so let's leave it at disabled. Next up, let's configure this for the community side. To do so, we'll start by clicking Enabled, and then choosing the question title. For the community side, it makes more sense to call this something like Has Pickleball Court. Similar to the client side, we also get to choose whether or not an additional notes field will pop up. Similarly, we're going to leave this at disabled. One quick thing to note is that depending on your question type, this customization may look slightly different. Now that we're done customizing this new field, we're going to click Save. Now let's see it in action. If we go to the client side, go to the Intake Details section, and scroll down to Preferred Amenities. We can see our new custom field, Plays Pickleball, is showing up. We can check and uncheck it as needed. On the community side, let's go into a community, into the Attributes section, and down to the Amenities Offered section. You can see our new custom field is showing up. You can also check that field as needed. In a different tutorial, we'll demonstrate how to reorder custom fields so you could move this up in the box if you wanted. Finally, how might this actually be useful in practice? One way a field like this could be useful is using it to filter down communities with pickleball courts. Let's see this in action. Let's go to our communities database, click More Filters, and search for pickleball. In this case, we can checkmark this and filter our communities down to the ones that we've marked as having a pickleball court. In this case, you can see that First Abundance is showing up because we've marked it in that profile. This can be incredibly useful for tailoring the community's recommendations depending on your client's needs.